Um,
Hola! Welcome to the Extraordinary Talk. Here we're going to talk about self confidence.
Going through self journey towards becoming our best version of ourselves, and many more.
Hi, this is Florisela Prades, a digital strategist and entrepreneur based in Manila, Philippines.
Hi, my name is Jameline Dupay here in Abu Dhabi as a secretary and a digital entrepreneur.
So,
How are you,
hello.
Elle?
Welcome back to our another episode of the Extraordinary Talk. Diba? So, yeah, it's been 1 month since we started this podcast. And what I can really say is that I'm really proud of myself and also Jamie that
I'm
we
so
are
proud
finally
of
here.
you. Nagiging consistent na tayo and we take this podcast seriously, no, for our listeners.
So, yeah, how's your week been going? Weekly check-in.
very upside down, very. I mean, upside down, full of emotions, full of happiness, abundance. But there are challenges that na-realize ko that everyone has a problem. It's just about our mindset. It's just about perspective, di ba? Hindi naman tayo mawawala ng problema. Pero we take it as a learning experience. So, how about you? Madami ka ata
Oh my
ikikwento sa
God, I
amin.
really love that. Kasi it's part of the journey, like feeling your
Yeah.
emotions. May mga ano talaga upside downs, and that's completely normal. It makes you human. Ako naman,
Yeah.
on my side, I feel so good. Ewan ko, my week has been really productive, full of activities as well. Like I was able to visit the beach more often, spending time with families, friends. Yeah, it's been a roller coaster kind of week for me. So, and for the upcoming weeks as well, for the month of May.
Sobrang excited tayo for the future and alam ko madami pa tayong things to accomplish, yung goals natin, and madami pa tayong mai-share to our listeners.
And I can
Yes,
wait for us to grow from here talaga.
yes.
So, our wala nang paligoy-ligoy, no? So, it's our
Diretso na agad.
yeah, so since it's our fifth episode and it's our first recording or first podcast for the month of May, we're gonna be talking about financial habits to help you make you smarter with your monies in your 20s, right?
Yes. Love our topic.
Yeah,
Alam ko madami dito makaka-relate and very beneficial to our listeners, no
yeah.
matter what age. Diba? It can be applicable to even older than 20s, 30s, diba? 40s. Diba? It's a learning experience, not just for our listeners, but for us as well. Diba?
Yeah. And I think making smart financial choices in your 20s or no matter what age you're in can help you set up for long-term success, right? Like taking control of your finances at a young age, it will make it easier for you to achieve your goals in your 30s or beyond, right? So
Yes,
how about you? What do you think about building financial habits at the age of in our
20s.
20s, right?
I think, alam mo, it's very important for us na kahit na mapababae or mapalalaki, kailangan nating maging financially educated. Kasi, di ba, gone are the days na dati yung mayaman ng empleyado, kailangan din mag-isip tayo ng ways to be smart on how we spend our finances for us not to end up retire and broke. So very applicable 'to sa mga 20s 'no, kailangan yung makinig and take down notes. Ayan, kahit ako 'no, ang dami kong matututunan kay Elle. Ayan, so it's a learning process nga. Ayan, so ayan, Elle.
Yeah, so for me, the number one that I do personally is I track my expenses. For me, there are many benefits of tracking your expenses. First is that it will help you spend mindfully. Because when I started writing down notes or every expense of my expenses, it really helped me spend more mindfully. Like it prevents me from splurging money. Kasi nung hindi ko pa siya nililista, hindi ko alam kung saan napupunta yung pera ko. So, hindi ka aware. I am making this amount of money, so I'm free to do whatever I want to do with it. Like, I can buy this, I can buy that. Alam mo yung one day millionaire ba yun? Yeah, kind of.
Yes, relate ako do'n.
So for me,
Shopaholic tayo.
so for me, when you track your expenses, it makes you responsible with your spending. Not just that, you will also be able to control your finances instead of it controlling you. Kasi ang daming mga taong ngayon nawawala sa, alam mo yun, hindi naman sa landas, ang pangit naman ng word na yun. But hindi sila aware kung saan napupunta yung pera nila. And
Yes.
it's a cycle, right? For me, when you track your expenses, you take complete control over your finances kasi at any one time, you will know how much money is sitting in your bank account and how much you can spend. Because if you only have like 20,000 in your bank account at hindi ka aware and hindi mo trinatrack yung expenses mo, like naka 30K ka na pala. 'Di ba? So it's really helpful to be mindful. As to be mindful of your expenses. Also, you make better budget. By tracking your expenses, it will help you make clear budgets for your monthly spends. Like after you set up a budget, which is your monthly plan that takes into account of your income and expenses, tracking expenses daily kasi is an essential to keeping you on a budget. Like what I've mentioned, kung alam mo kung how much you are making, then dapat alam mo din kung magkano yung nagagastos mo na in your daily life, di ba? Kasi kunwari, may budget ka nga, may pera ka, kung di mo din tinitignan yung
Yes.
gastos mo, malay mo sumusobra ka na sa gastos, then wala din,
Gastos ka
right?
ng gastos, 'no?
Yeah. Relate much?
Relate ako do'n.
That was me a few years back then. I mean, a few years ago. Pero yeah, aside from that, it also helps you to see your progress on the road to your financial goals, right?
Hmm.
So one reason to keep your finances organized is that because kasi ang kapag disorganized ka sa when it comes to financial situations or
Yes.
your money, nagiging ano siya, financial problem in the near future.
Mhm.
Kasi hindi ka aware kung saan nga. So paikot-ikot lang yun. So it is easier to stay organized than it is to organize a messy financial situation or problem. It can also be a powerful motivator to clear off debt. Madaming nangungutang na mga Pinoy, obviously, like
Yes.
once or stuff like that. And it is essential when you're in debt kasi you are tracking your day-to-day expenses. It's easy to let that amount of debt you are paying, like each month slip, through the cracks. Like, how do I explain this? Kasi kapag nililista mo yung expenses mo, nasabi ko na paulit-ulit. Yeah, but once you start tracking
Mas
every peso,
mataktik.
yeah.
Mhm.
But once you start tracking every peso that leaves your bank account, then you will start to add up the debt payments and it can be eye-opening. So for me, the main reason why I track my expenses is that to identify and eliminate wasteful spending habits in my financial life. Like for example, kailangan ko ba talaga yung pinili ko or yung monthly membership ko, nagagamit ko ba? Ganon. So nililista ko.
Yes.
So if hindi siya nakakatulong sa akin monthly, ina-eliminate ko siya, tinatanggal ko. So yeah, by tracking your expenses daily, you can also control costs, see what you're spending your money on and how much you're spending. So yeah, it helps you with your daily figures to, so sorry about may dumaan na sa sakin. Hello, Philippines. So yeah,
Pilipinas talaga tayo.
the entire process helps you become more financially aware by tracking your expenses. How about you, Jamie?
Sobrang relate ako diyan kasi alam mo, kung may nakikita akong pera pa, money left on my account, talagang ako ng tapos at the end of the day or at the end of the month, hindi ko na nalalaman kung ano ba yung mga ginastos ko naman ng mga unnecessary things. So it's a good thing na hanggang ngayon, 'no, at, magsimula ka na ng i-track yung record mo, make a list, make an Excel sheet for you to, um, is ay malaman mo kung saan ba napupunta yung sweldo mo, 'di ba? So, gagayahin ko yung tip mo, no? I will apply it to my life.
You can also,
Ayan.
as what Jamie mentioned, you can also use Excel, pero kung hindi ka naman marunong sa Excel, pwede mo siyang ilista. Ako kasi personally, nililista ko siya, gusto kong nakikita, ganun. Very malista ako, very, ayun, visual. So, next is,
For me, my number one tip is yung find alternative income because cutting cost may affect yung quality of life natin, not just saving. Kasi alam natin, 'di ba? Gone are the days na yung mayaman na ang empleyado, 'di ba? Profits at the end of the day are better than wages. 'Di ba ngayon fast move pacing na yung ating environment, yung society natin. So it's not just enough to have wages, no? Huwag tayong magdepende sa ating salary, no? Sa kung for example, no, you have 25,000 tapos 1,000 lang yung ini-income mo, why not create another source of income through your 1,000 pesos, 'di ba? 'Di ba? In this today's world, we will face a lot of uncertainties like emergencies, pandemic man, and recession. And if our cash is not liquid, we will just rely on our salary. Then we won't be able to survive. No, having savings is not just enough. Have multiple streams of income. Now, for example, imagine ko yung sarili ko as a table. When you get laid off from your work, 'di ba? Wala kang source of income. So in order to prevent that from happening na talagang magiging broke ka, think of by thinking 3 steps ahead, no, to prevent that from happening. um, have multiple streams of income kahit na meron kang 200, 'di ba, from your savings. Make use of that to create another source of income for alternative. Now, if you lose a job, then you're not able to stand on your own, 'di ba? Meron kang continuous flow of money. So it's not just about being an employee, but it can also be applied as a student, 'di ba? While you are young, you can save from a small amount and then multiply from your savings, 'di ba? Ano mo, I wish that this was taught by my parents. Yung paano ba mag-save talaga and start a business, 'di ba? So even if I'm making mistakes as a younger version of me, 'di ba? Natututunan ko kung paano ba i-handle yung mga finances ko. So, yun nga, create another source of income from your savings. Okay? So, do you agree ba, El?
very, very. I really have one tip, but we can go ahead with it later on. Pero yeah, I really agree with that. Like find an alternative income in your 20s while you're still young.
Yes.
For me, next is to have separate bank accounts for each saving goal. How many banks accounts should you have? Like two, a checking account, or maybe a savings account, or only one that does both, diba? So maybe five. Joke, kidding. So if you're new to this, you can start with two, because really the number of bank accounts you really need is up to your personal spending. But traditionally, just have two accounts if you're starting or new to this. Check, checking and savings will do. Or maybe first is that have an emergency fund for your for future maybe illness, sudden job loss, or etc. Second is to open a needs account for necessary expenses like rent, utilities, annual insurance premiums, and yeah, lastly is for your wants, like for fun stuff such as vacations, gadgets, ayan na naman ang sasakyan every time. So yeah, sorry about that again. So yeah, have wants accounts for fun stuff like gadgets, phones, and many more. So for me, I found that using several bank accounts can make it easier for me to to why is that every time I'm the one who's talking, may mga dumadaan na sasakyan, biglang nag-iingay ang paligid.
Support daw yan.
Yeah.
Support.
Ayan. So for me, I found that using several bank accounts can make it easier for me to budget and spend less. It makes it easier for me to keep those goals separate and prioritize how much and how often I save towards them. Kunwari, I have I have a goal for this year na for my nose job. Kunwari, it costs like 100K. So I need to allocate some, alam mo, basta save some money for that. So, nakahiwalay siya na bank account. Biglang dumami ang sasakyan. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry about that. Yeah, some reasons why you should have separate bank accounts is that you have multiple saving goals. The main reason to open a bank account is to track exactly how much you have saved toward each individual savings goal. For example, if you want to save 3 months worth of your income in an emergency account, di ba? You set money aside for a down payment or on a house or to fund your, ano ba, nalilito na ako sa mga sinasabi ko, yeah, and to fund your summer vacation. So yeah, then you could open 3 accounts to see at a glance how close you are to reaching your goals. It keeps you organized. But also take note na you need to have an emergency fund bank account, right? That it's easily accessible because your emergency fund cover should covers you in the event of unexpected financial blow. From parang iniiwas ka niya sa going into debt. Huwag mo siyang yung emergency money mo is that hindi dapat nakalagay sa stocks. Kasi what if bigla ka nawalan ng work? Kailangan mo pang ibenta yung stocks just to get the money. But instead,
Yes.
keep it close to you na easily accessible, like one time, right?
Yes. Kailangan may emergency fund, no? Kahit mapaanong edad ka. So, kailangan ko i-apply yan. Thank you. Thank you so much, El.
Yeah, because having multiple bank accounts tricks us into thinking that we no longer have this amount of money and it will make us spend less. Kasi what I do before spending is I save.
Mm-hmm.
Diba? So it tricks me into for example, actually it's 70% of what's entering into me na kung anong pumupunta sa akin na pera, 70% of it napupunta siya sa saving goals ko, like transfer ko na agad siya before I spend. So kung anong matira dun sa pera ko, yun na lang yung ginagastos ko. So konti na lang siya. And I won't be able to splurge money on things. I would be more mindful about it. So yeah, what I do is to save before spending. Right?
Yes.
So you can
Yes.
also reach your goals faster. Some people will spend their money like kunwari nakuha na nila yung pera nila or salary. Gumagastos na agad sila. Then sinesave nila kung ano yung natira, which is really normal for some people. But for me, that won't help you fulfill your investment plan if you plan to invest in the near future. Oh my gosh, why is that every time I talk? So yeah, the fastest way to save your money is to deposit it in different saving accounts as soon as you get your paycheck. As soon as, hindi after mong igastos. So this is my tip: save first and then spend later. You will be surprised at how fast you can reach your financial goals if you keep multiple savings accounts. Hello, Jamie.
Yes. Ano lang ako sa tips mo, no? So sabi ko, grabe, kailangan ko talaga ng emergency fund. Kailangan kong, ang dami kong natutunan sa'yo, El. Kasi even I am an OFW, di ba? Akala nila as OFW, madaming pera. Pero actually, madaming ginagastos din. Iba lang yung currency natin, no? So, kailangan talaga nating, kahit anong mga estado natin sa buhay, kailangan i-set aside natin, i-prioritize natin kung ano ba yung talagang mahalaga 'no, para hindi natin magastos man yung emergency fund, meron tayong mapapagkunan na dapat, naka-set aside na. Ayun. So, ito yung, second tip ko 'no, identify your basic needs, separate wants from needs, 'di ba? Kasi ang dami nating gustong bilhin, 'di ba? When you think about it, 'pag may nakikita ka sa friend mo na, "Ay gusto ko 'yan," 'di ba minsan parang gusto ko rin bumili nun. So, question yourself, do you really need that branded bag? When you have tons of bag already, kailangan mo ba nun? Or kailangan mo ba ng 10 shoes, 'di ba? Kung meron ka namang kung meron ka pa namang ang dami-dami mong shoes 'no, ba't kailangan mo pang bumili ng, another shoe para lang makibagay, para lang maging on trend, 'di ba? When money is tight, it should not be spent on absolutely unnecessary things, 'di ba? Minsan kasi ako very impulsive buyer 'pag may nakita akong magandang dress, yung cute na dress, alam mo yung
Yeah.
bagay na bagay sa'kin, think 5 times before buying. Is it necessary? Is it a need for you or gusto mo lang siya? Do you really need it? Is this will help me in the long term? Diba? When you go to malls, don't go to a store if you're really not buying anything. Kasi ang tendency is mag-spend ka talaga ng money unnecessarily. Kaya, diba, punta ka ng mall, magpalamig ka, syempre bibili ka ng milk tea or drinks, diba, or pagkain. Diba? This will lead us to spending without being intentional, diba, or no goals at all. Yung window shopping, hindi totoong window shopping lang yan. Syempre, inom ka ng juice or shake, 'di ba? So, this will result to losing money that you have no track of record to. Ayun nga, so separate yung wants mo from your needs and identify kung ano ba talagang need mo para hindi mo papagastos to unnecessary things. Ayan.
Yeah, that's actually true. I can relate dun sa think 5 times. Actually, hindi lang 5 times sa akin. Siguro what,
10
ang ginagawa
times.
ko kasi, if I want something, pinag-iisipan ko siya ng 30 days. So, alam mo yung
Grabe.
goal na yun? Yeah, if gusto ko pa rin siya after 30 days, then bibilhin ko na siya. Usually, hindi ko siya gusto after 30 days.
What if nawala na yung gusto mo kasi hindi mo binili ng on that time? Parang pinalagpas mo yung oras.
Ibig sabihin, mas may dadating na mas maganda.
Oh! Tama. Apply yan sa ano, buhay.
Di ba?
Oo.
So, maghintay. Waiting is the key.
Yes.
For me that my third tip is to protect your assets. Get insured.
Mm.
Hoy, hindi to sponsored pero baka naman. Pero
Baka
yeah,
naman.
yeah, get insured. No one can predict the future kasi. Ikaw ba
Yes.
may insurance ka na?
Yes.
Oh, it's a must. For me,
It's a must.
for me, you can't predict the future, but certainly not when you will find yourself in a situation where you need a life insurance plan. Diba? Because you don't know for sure when you need it. So why not plan early? So by getting insured, you have the ability to prepare for anything that may happen in the future. Of course, nobody wants that. Ayaw mo namang biglang mamatay, ayaw mo namang biglang
Yes.
maeme-eme dyan, di ba? But yeah, first is that it protects your income from unexpected expenses, right? So your income now is now your assets, your greatest assets. Imagine if all of a sudden you had to deal with a medical emergency or even worse, diba? So, biglang mawawala yan. Biglang na-splurge mo na. Asan na? But if you have this insurance plan, you know where you can get funds for that, right? For unexpected expenses. Because life insurance protects your income in such a way that it acts as a replacement so you can pay off debts and other expenses. Agree, diba? Second, it gives you the power to protect your family even when you're not around. Kasi if you really love your family, you will get an insurance. Diba? So, do you ever think kung anong mangyayari in the near future kapag wala ka na? Like, maybe your son, daughter, diba? So, by availing a life insurance plan, your family is assured of financial support even when you're not around anymore. So, of course, nobody wants that, but ayun nga, prevention is better than cure.
Sure.
So after
Tama.
all, yeah, kasi after all, we all deserve to enjoy the fruits of our hard work. And also as them, don't they? Right? So life insurance secures your family's future and frees them from financial worries. It takes care of expenses like mortgage, college education, which you will no longer be able to support if you're not around. Like yung pag-aaral ng mga anak mo in the near future, right? So maybe habang bata pa yung anak mo, get a life insurance for them. Third, it protects your emotional health by giving you peace of mind. Yan ang pinaka-importante sa lahat. Peace of mind. Nothing can beat that, di ba? No, di ba? So, yeah, nothing beats the peace of mind that having a life insurance brings. Oh my gosh. You don't have to worry about how to finance your needs in case you meet an accident or suffer, as what I've mentioned. Diba? So at least be safe. With a life insurance, you you get a peace of mind. You can focus on more things like kung ano nagmatter ngayon, like your business, your family, ganon. Lastly, it protects your future by increasing your potential to earn from investments. Meron na kasing mga insurance ngayon. Baka naman, hindi to
Sobrang
sponsor.
dami na ng insurance ngayon.
Pero I got my VUL ba ang tawag dito? But variable universal life insurance na merong built-in cash value sa BPI. Baka naman BPI. So, which is invested in stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. So, this cash value can be withdrawn as well. Nawi-withdraw mo siya with the potential to earn. So, meron ka nang investment na nanganganak na yung pera mo pang life insurance, right? So baka naman, yeah, it protects you. It protects you. I mean, yeah, your life insurance. Get insured. That's for me for number 3.
Tama. Ang dami ko ng friends na nag nag nag-offer they are a financial consultant. Nakikita mo kasi yung kahalagahan, importance ng pagiging insured in case of emergency, sabi mo nga. So, ayan, sa mga listeners natin, research kung ano ba yung best life insurance for you and for your family as early as now, no? So, for my number 3 tip is yung avoid overspending that could cause you harm in the future. 'Di ba? Instead na mag-enjoy ka sa dream vacation mo, 'di ba? Kasi you put yourself on the corner. 'Di ba? Minsan 'di ba? Nag we're saving too much that we forget yung daily life natin, yung daily living, no? Yung tinitipid natin masyado yung sarili natin kasi yung dream vacation natin 100,000. 'Di ba? 'Di ba? Avoid mo yung mangutang ka just to have your dream vacation. Just to have the luxury lifestyle and be a show off. Avoid natin yan, no? Kasi it will put us at the end of the day, 'di ba? It will cause harm to ourselves. Hindi natin matutuloy yung ganong kind of lifestyle. So, kung tayo nagbabakasyon, i-weigh out natin yung options. Create a list of hotels. Kunyari, vacation mo, yung dream hotel mo. 'Di ba? Research on the booking price. Baka pwede naman may promo sa gantong hotel, may discount to another hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Ayun. So, research kung ano bang best option sa'yo or convenient. Hama? So, check which hotels cost you less travel time. You can save a lot of money when you look for a more affordable but not compromising yung fun mo and yung for relaxation, di ba? Yan. Ayun yung for me, third tip ko. Avoid overspending and avoid kayong magiging show off just to tell the world na ang yaman-yaman ko, di ba? At the end of the day, ang peace of mind nga, di ba? Some people will judge you for yung lifestyle mo, but at the end of the day, kung wala kang peace of mind sa finances mo, di ba? It will really cost you harm later on.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with showing off as long as you
Yes.
have the assets or you have the money to maintain your lifestyle. Pero kapag
Yes, yes,
hihiram ka ng money just for the sake of showing off,
yes.
it's a no, no,
It's a
no. Kasi,
no-no. 'Di ba?
yeah, yeah. Merong exception na mag-loan ka. It's for your
Mhm,
business. Pwede yon. Pwede kang humiram ng pera to produce more assets. Pero wag kang hihiram ng pera just to sustain just to sustain your wants. Yan ang
yes,
biggest financial mistakes natin. Marami kasi
yes,
nangungutang just for the sake of having a party, buying this, buying that, or maybe to show off. And yeah, yan dapat ang iiwasan din natin. For me, my bonus tip is to invest. Lastly, to invest. Kasi keeping all your extra money in a savings account isn't always as savvy as it sounds. Sure, may mga risk, but over time, your purchasing power becomes or drops lower and lower. So if you want to be more proactive, then invest. Minention mo nga, di ba?
mhm,
Mag-invest tayo. Yun ata yung, ano to? Find an alternative income. Di ba? So
yes,
investing is the same as investing, as what I mentioned. It's not as scary as it sounds, and you don't have to be like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos.
yes.
You don't have to be Elon Musk or like them. You can start small because investing is how you take charge of your financial security as well. It allows you to grow your wealth, but also generate an additional income stream if needed ahead of retirement or ahead of the game, stuff like that. So once you've set aside a monthly saving goal, it's time to invest. So kapag meron ka ng um, goal na save, then i-invest mo na siya para mas mapabilis mag-grow yung money, right? So, yeah, when you invest your money, it gives you more money in return, but there's a risk. So, take calculated risk. So, put your money to work. So, investing your money can grow it. So, there are a lot of investments for you to consider, such as stocks, certificates of deposit, bonds, offer returns on your money over the long term. But before investing as well, you also need to make sure na alam mo kung ano yung pinapasok mo before you invest. Meron kasi yung mga taong, ito yung mga pagkakamali ng mga tao is that kapag narinig nila yung, stocks, dumami yung
Yes.
pera ko. They invest a lot of their hard-earned money without knowing kung ano yung
Without
pinapasok mo, right?
researching. Mhm.
Right? So you also need to make sure that you are knowledgeable before you invest. Invest. Don't invest into something that you can't understand. Kasi dyan mostly natatalo yung mga tao. Do a research about it. Take your time before you spend and invest into something that you can only afford to lose. Kunwari, meron kang 1 million and in-invest mo lahat yung 1 million. If ever man na merong nangyaring hindi maganda, asan yung 1 million? Then, yeah, invest on something that you can lose. Right?
Yes. So, ang dami kong tinake note. Dami kong natutunan.
Take
So,
note
tama
ako.
nga mag-invest. Oo, tama yan. Kasi kahit na, 'di ba, I'm an OFW, kailangan ko 'tong mga tips na 'to. Na-refresh ba yung mind ko? So, yun nga, very challenging to
Yeah.
start saving, pero para naman sa future natin ito eh, 'di ba? If you have a goal, stick to your goal, 'di ba? Yung make a
Mhm.
list nga yung sabi mo.
And
So,
yeah.
yes.
Meron pa ba tayong next na tip or for me kasi investing is the last tip that I have.
For me, naisip ko lang, read books. Read books about, yun nga, yung, meron ako binabasa yung Rich Dad and Poor Dad.
I
And
know that.
about financial mindset books, diba? It will change you how you think about spending money. And
Mm.
bakit ba mahalaga yung maging smart, maging wise sa pag-spend ng money? Bakit ba mahalaga yung savings? Diba? It's not just about you, it's also the next generation after you. Diba? So let's do a recap.
For me, number one, nilista ko siya, di ba? Track your
Yes.
expenses. Next is to find alternative income for you. Have separate bank accounts for each saving goal. Identify your basic needs, separate wants from your needs. Fifth one is to get insured, protect your assets. Six, avoid overspending that will cost you harm.
More
Than,
harm
yeah.
later on.
Lastly is to invest. So yeah, we have seven financial habits that we need to make in our 20s para ma-reach ang goal. So I think the best that you can do in your 20s is to be smart with your money. 'Di ba?
Wag
So
masyadong mag-spend on
mm,
unnecessary things.
part part of the importance of saving money is to build cash reserves before you take calculated risks with less worry. Because if you don't have any savings, it may be harder for you to pursue your passions like starting a business. For
Mhm.
example,
Yes.
right?
Tsaka alamin mo dapat, yun nga, yung goal mo, bakit ka ba nagsisave and how much yung certain dapat mong mas-save
Hmm.
after 5 years. And dapat realistic yung goal mo na amount of savings. Diba? Be smart, be realistic, be time measurable, and
Hmm.
achievable ba yung goal mo. Yan.
Yeah. Kasi rather than waiting until you know something specific, oh God, ano ba yung best way ng pag-setup ng ganito, ganyan? Saan ba ako kuha? Start consuming yourself with information habang maaga pa. Whether it be a book, blogs, podcast like this, or videos. Find something that works for you, kung ano yung gusto mo ba talaga. And let your brain start absorbing the information na about your financial literacy. Kasi napaka-importante yan. And schools don't really teach about financial education. And it's something that we should be aware of. Kasi over time, you will develop a general understanding of how big things work or how these things work, right? Which will make your research and decisions become easier. So kapag andyan na yung time, mas madali mo na lang siya ma-overcome kasi alam mo na, right?
Yes. So, very practical yung tips natin, no? Ang dami kong natutunan. Yun nga. So, aside from that, yung mga yung learn how to invest, you can also seek out another tip. No? You can, it came to my mind. Another tip is to learn from people na talagang focus yung pagiging seek advice from the financial consultant or
Mm-hmm.
sa mga business-minded people na talagang they're successful on their ventures.
Yeah, you're right. And yeah, tapos na tayo sa ating tips and nag-enjoy ako for today's topic. Sobrang nakarelate ako kasi ito yung something na I'm passionate. I mean, na parang when it comes to money, I'm very passionate about it and very
Yes.
much careful. Parang tinitake note ko talaga siya. Actually, it's May 1 and nag-audit ako ng mga expenses ko.
Wow.
Sobrang daming changes. Imagine almost, kasi before nililista ko, di ba? So I'm aware of my spending habits.
Mhm.
So what I did was nilesen ko. And this April, last month, nag-down yung expenses ko ng half. Imagine,
Wow.
so, yeah,
Amazing.
yeah, imagine from 100K to 50K na lang or from 50K naging 25K na lang yung gastos. So, yeah.
Be smart on your spending. So, kakasabi mo lang yung nililista mo yung mga
Mm.
expenses mo. Ako, parang 3 days before, na-inspire ako kasi kailangan mo talagang maglista. Kasi kung wala ka listahan, you will lose your money. Mawawala ka sa,
Yeah,
uh,
tatanungin mo yung sarili mo
ka
saan
na
lang
lang,
pupunta.
oo, gigising ka na lang isang umaga,
Mm.
broke ka. Diba?
Many
Saan ko na,
people that I know kasi when I talk about tracking your expenses, ang sinasabi nila, takot akong malaman kung magkano yung gagastusin ko, mas nai-stress ako. Hindi ba mas
yes,
nakaka-stress isipin in the near future, long term, kapag naisip mo mas nakakatakot isipin na yung mga nagastos mo hindi ka aware. Long term, mas magsasuffer ka. So, habang maaga pa, ilista mo and be aware of your expenses. So yeah, that's it for our habits to build in your 20s. For you to
I
be
hope
able.
na madami tayong natutunan, mga listeners, nag-take note kayo ng mga aming 6 tips on saving.
Thank you, and we hope to see you on our next podcast episode. Bye!
Yay! Excited! Bye-bye!